This is the main vocabulary that you'll need to know for this topic.
Scatter plot. Bivariate data plotted as a discrete graph.
The line of fit is a line estimated to pass through the center of a plotted data that has some correlation.
Prediction equation is the equation of the line of fit. The regression line is the line produced by performing regression analysis, or the line that fits the data best, which is also called the best fit line.
The correlation is a visible trend within scatterplot data that makes the data appear to have a recognizable slope. This can be determined in levels by how many of the dots are closer to or on the regression line. These are the formulas that your calculator will use to find the line of best fit.
Number 1. What is the line of best fit? If the question doesn't specify whether the equation is linear, or polynomial, or exponential, we can make a quick sketch of a graph on the side using our values from the table, and we see that the line comes out straight, so it is linear. To plug in the x and y values, we go to Stat, Edit, and L1 we put the x values, starting with 60, 61, 62, 63, and 65, and then in L2 we put the y values in, 3.1, 3.6, 3.8, 4, and 4.1. After you plug in the x and y values, you go to Stat, Calc, then the option 4 for linear regression, go all the way down to Calculate, press Enter, and it gives you the values for the equation. You plug in the a and b values into the equation for linear regression, which is y equals ax plus b. So it's going to be y equals 0.1878x minus 7.9635.
The next part of the question asks, what would we expect the y value to be for the x value of 59? To find this, you just plug in the x value of 59 into your equation. So you get y equals 0.1878 times 59 minus 7.9635. And when you do, you should get y equals 3.1167.
Number 3. Which graph most closely resembles the equation from question 1? To find number 3, we're going to go to y equals and plug in our equation from question 1, which is y equals 0.1878x minus 7.9635. Then we go to graph, and it shows us the graph of our equation. Looking at the graph on the calculator, we can see that the answer is A.
For quadratic equations, the process is pretty much the same. You plot your points at first to see, if the question does not specify, to see what your graph will look like. We can see it's vaguely parabola shape, which is a quadratic. Okay. You plug in the values into L1 and L2, much like we did the first time, which I've already done, and then you go to Stat, Calc again, except this time you're going to go to quadratic regression, which is what we figured out from the plots before. Go down to Calculate, and there's your a, b, and c values for the equation ax squared plus bx plus c. So once again, using the equation ax squared plus bx plus c, you plug in your your a, b, and c values. So y equals 0.0995 x squared plus 0.0124 x plus 1.5258. And that's your equation.
Question 2 asks us to predict what the y value will be for the x value of 6. So we use our equation we found for question 1 and plug in 6 for the x value, and we get y equals 5.1822. Number 3 asks which graph most closely resembles the equation from question 1. So we go to our calculator, and in y1 we type in the equation, and then we go to graph. And looking at the graph from our calculator, we see that the answer is C, but if we were unsure, we could cross off B because it's a straight line, which means the equation is linear.
So this question specifically points out that it's a logarithmic equation. So looking at our answer choices, we can cross out the linear equation, number A, and the quadratic equation, which is D. So going to our calculator, we do the exact same thing, stat, edit, and our values are already in here. Go to calc, and you go all the way down to ln regression, which is logarithmic. So go down to calculate, and these are your A and B values. So the equation for a logarithmic regression is y equals a plus b ln x. Looking at our equations in our calculator, our A is 5.67. So looking at our equations, the only one for A is 5.67, and our B was 6.5. 6.5. Okay, so the answer choice is B.
Question 2 asks which graph most closely resembles the equation from question 1. So if we go to y equals on the calculator and plug in the equation and then go to graph, we see what the graph looks like. And if we go back to our question, we see how it looks like D, and we can cross out A because it's a straight line and linear, and C because it's a parabola and quadratic. Some of the questions you'll have on the SOL will be technologically enhanced, like number 1, which says, what is the exponential line of best fit for the following values? Round your answer to the 10th place and type your answer in the box below. Using the values from the table given in the question, we again go to stat, edit, plug them into L1 and L2, and then go to stat, calc, go down to exponential, which is option 0, press enter, go down to calculate, press enter, and we get our equation. The equation for the exponential line of best fit is y equals a times b to the x, using parentheses, and using our a and b values, we get y equals 180.6 times 1 to the x power.